Assalamualaikum. Hello. Thank you for joining my live today. I really appreciate your time for joining my live today. Okay. So hi. Before I start, I think it's better for me to introduce myself. I'm NORSAFRIZAH Malanji. I'm a third-year student from Tropical Forestry Faculty, and I held as a EXCO and I held a position as EXCO INTEGRASI dan PERPADUAN dalam JAKMAS non-resident. Yes, and I studied in a course called Forest Plantation and Agroforestry. And before we dive into the session today, I just wanted to share about the title that I chose to talk about today, which is Love for Imperfect Things, How to Accept Yourself in a World Striving for Perfection. So, when my president, Jessica, approached us to do a session on a speaker corner, I straight away volunteered to do a session lah. Masa tu, just excited. This is my first time to do a speaker corner. So I said, and during that time, they straight away asked me for a topic to talk. And actually, I had no idea, really no idea to talk. I mean, tak tahu tajuk apa, tiba-tiba dorang tanya and dorang mau as soon as possible. But during that time, I was reading this book. I don't know if you can see, reading this book. And I thought, why not take this as a topic and maybe do a book sharing session lah during the live. But while finishing this book, I realized that it has something that is very close to my heart. So I decided to use this book title, as my guidance. And that something will be the highlight of today's session. But still, I would love to share a bit about this beautiful book. So this book was written by a South Korean Zen Buddhist monk and author, Haemin Sunim, and he turns his trademark of wisdom to the art of self-care, in this book, in which argues only by accepting ourselves, including the flaws, will make us who we are. And only by that we can have a compassionate and fulfilling relationship with our family, friends, or partner. And the way the book has been set up is beautifully done. Seriously. Jadi pada awal dia sangat-sangat tersusun because The first chapter are really about talking about self-care. Maksudnya how you take care about yourself. And after that, about family, empathy, and relationship are covered. Then, Hamin Sunni tulis pasal courage, healing, enlightenment, and finally acceptance. Kita punya penerimaan lah, kan? And the book is filled with wisdom and colorful illustration and beautiful quotes that make you want to pick this book up every now and then just to read a couple of quotes. Seriously. And as you can see here, there's ada penanda buku lagi because saya tanda mana yang my favorite quotes. And it's such a wonderful book. I think a lot of people will benefit from reading this book lah. It's full of wisdom and parts that enable you to reflect upon yourself. It makes you see things from a different perspective, and it can also give you comfort. So, as I told you earlier, they have something in this book that I can relate to, which is that something that I find really interesting while reading this book is self-acceptance, which macam mana kita terima diri kita seadanya. Like how important self-acceptance is and how it helped to go through that phase in my life lah. Because I grew up in a kind of conservative family where everything has to be almost perfect. Yes, that's the word. Almost perfect. You know, the usual Asian family lah kan, where you basically don't argue much with your parents. You have to be number one in the class. And the amount of A dalam report card tu penting. And the most common thing is in the culture we live in today is being a teacher, being a lawyer, engineer, doctor will make them very happy. At the same time, the society I live in, we always talk about that having fair skin is beautiful. Having a body with size S is beautiful. And the more light skin you have, the more kurus you are, the more favored you are. Lagilah orang praise you more. Lagi orang mau dekat dengan you, you know? And I have heard this since I was very young. Dari kecil lagi, I was told being a teacher is a good you know, that kind of mindset lah they have. So since I was little, all of this accumulated, and because of that, I set a standard for myself from what I heard from people around me. Because I believe, during that time, I believe when I fulfill these people's expectation, it will make me happy because they are happy. So basically, it will make me happy. Yeah. Konon lah dulu. Selalu fikir begitu dulu. But so basically, I grew up based on people's expectations towards me. But I don't blame them. Itu cara dorang berfikir. and I could never change the way they think because it's how they think, you know. Sudah lama dorang berfikiran macam tu, so it's so hard to change that lah. And when I fail to achieve the standard that I had set for myself, I keep questioning myself. I had this kind of war in my head, a war with myself, and I feel like I already failed everyone because I didn't meet the expectation, you know, and because of some achievement that I cannot achieve. And during that phase of my life, I really don't like myself. I hate myself for fail in a subject, for not being a number one in class. You know, I really battle with myself. Yes, with my inner self. That's how it does. And this leads to self-criticisms. You know, where we critique ourselves, we also like cakap, you know, yang aku ni apa, saya ni teruk, saya ni bodoh, like whatever that is, you know, and it has a devastating effect on my life and my well-being, where it breaks down any good feelings I have about myself, and it sabotages my efforts and causes kind of menyebabkan lah macam ada drama sikit dalam relationship with people around me, you know. And I really forget, during that time, I really forget yang everyone has flaws, including the people you recognize to be perfect, you know. Sepatutnya, because I was groomed and my mind was groomed to have that standard, so I didn't recognize that everyone has flaws, including siapa-siapa lah yang ada Nobel Prize kah or whatever yang tengah berjaya, they have flaws. Okay, it's only kita tidak nampak. Then I happen to know that self-love and self-acceptance are critical aspects of health and happiness. And these are the attributes that will membentuk kita punya kesihatan fizikal, mental, dan emosi. Kesihatan emosi, mental, dan fizikal, yes. Bila kita menerima diri kita seadanya, I mean, we try to love ourselves. It will, yes, when we try to love ourselves kan, for what we are, for the flaws we have, dia menyebabkan kita boleh terima diri kita sendiri seadanya. You know? I mean, how can we accept other people in our life when we don't accept ourselves? When we don't care about ourselves, you know? And macam dalam flight kan, dalam kapal terbang, when ada apa tu, safety punya yang keselamatan before we terbang tu kan, and usually dorang akan apa yang okay, lepas pasangkan tali keledar apakah bla bla bla, and if something happen and the oxygen mask tu turun, you know, you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself first, you know, then help your anak kah, adik-beradik kah, begitu lah kan. So I think it's the same concept. You know, you have to help yourself first before you can help everyone or anyone or someone else, begitu. So, and when we refuse, bila kita tidak dapat terima diri kita sendiri, we cut ourselves from the energy that sustains life, you know, and this process happens gradually and we are disconnected from the life force, and this can lead to serious health issues. Sebab actually saya pernah rasa that phase of life, that phase where I don't accept myself, where I keep blaming myself when I'm making a mistake, you know. Padahal mistake tu is very important on our growth and development, you know. And it is very, very important to accept the fact that we all have flaws. Everyone makes mistakes. And making mistakes is not a bad thing that we should avoid completely. You know, macam, we should make the mindset where making a mistake is a norm. It's normal. Okay, even the intelligent people, the geniuses, they make mistakes. Before they make mistakes hundreds of times before they can find that something can change the world. Like Einstein, Thomas Edison, you know. And making mistakes is one of the best ways to learn and grow. And accepting our strength and weaknesses is critical to our health and happiness. Plus, we cannot achieve anything substantial in the outer world without fixing our inner world. You know, macam mana kita mau fix everything around us without fixing ourselves first. Because apa yang kita akan buat nanti, it will affect the other people around us. Yes. So, self-acceptance is all about embracing our positive and negative side. And this means that self-acceptance ni unconditional, tanpa syarat. You know, you can accept yourself itulah tanpa syarat. It doesn't matter how good you are or how bad you are, but it is who you are. You have to love yourself. You have to love the weaknesses, the negative side of you. And when we recognize, bila kita mengenali dan kita terima our weaknesses, and bila kita kenal dan menerima kita punya weaknesses ni, dia sepatutnya tidak berhubung dengan kita punya ability to accept ourselves secara menyeluruh, which I think maksudnya macam mana nak cakap tiba blur. Maksudnya maksudnya bila kita mau try to accept ourselves kan, sebenarnya kita tidak fikir pun negative side atau apa begitu. Kita menghargai lagi the weaknesses, and we can make the weaknesses as our strong side, you know. And I once read this book by Robert Holden in the book Happiness Now. He said that happiness and self-acceptance go hand in hand. Maksudnya, bila kita fully terima diri kita sendiri, happiness tu akan ada. Dia selari. Diorang selari. Begitu. And in fact, your level of self-acceptance determines your level of happiness. The more you accept yourself, the more happiness you will allow yourself to accept, to receive, and to enjoy, And in other words, as much you enjoy as much happiness as you believe you're worthy of. Maybe you believe that you're worthy of gold, or you're worthy of oxygen. Yes, oxygen sangat penting sekarang ya. Dalam dunia sekarang ni, pandemic ini, oxygen sangat penting. And maybe you believe you're worthy of time, because time is gold. I mean, time lagi berharga. Masa itu lagi berharga. So maybe you believe you're worthy of time. So when you accept yourself fully, you will believe that you are worthy more than time, more than gold, more than the oxygen, And becoming more self-accepting, we begin to appreciate that ultimately we're not really to blame for anything. Whether with our looks, intelligence, or any of our more questionable behaviors. Our actions have been compelled by some combination of background and biology. So, going forward, we certainly can take responsibility for ways we have hurt or mistreat others. But if we are to productively work on more self-accepting, we must do so with compassion and forgiveness in our heart. Because I think we cannot grow and prosper without forgiving ourselves and others. Because I know, and I want to let you guys know that forgiveness is a selfish act. We forgive others so that we can have enough energy to focus on our growth and improvement or development. And forgive ourselves for the mistakes we have made. I know it's easier said than done, but I think we should really try to forgive ourselves, maafkan diri kita sendiri sebab kesalahan yang kita telah buat, because we have to keep in mind that no one is perfect. Yes, and being too hard on ourselves or others cannot accelerate our success. Yes, when we being too hard on ourselves, bila kita siksa diri kita sendiri, I mean, we have this battle, right? In our inner world, okay, dalam diri kita sendiri. And actually it's kinda at the same time macam kita torture diri kita sendiri for the mistake we have been made, and because of that, dia boleh jadi efek when we have a communication with the others, with the people around us. And because of that, maybe benda tu boleh jadi satu penghalang to success. You know? So, maafkanlah diri kita sendiri dulu. It's really important to forgive yourself first. You know, you have to think like no one is perfect. It's okay. So you have to say to yourself, it's okay. It's okay, my dear self. It's okay, Safrizah. Oh, it's okay. You said your name is Lakan masa tu. It's okay. Say a nice thing to yourself, because it will affect your mind, it will affect your body, it will affect, it will macam bagi you a positive impact lah, macam begitu. You know, it's okay, you do this mistake, you learn about your mistake, it's okay, you can do it again and make it better. You know, you bagi semangat pada diri you sendiri. Macam you bagi semangat pada orang lain bila dia tengah sedih kah, apakah, begitu kan. So, I think it's better for you to take care of yourself first. Apa-apa pun, you dulu. Myself dulu, begitu. Macam yang saya cakap tadi, pasal di oksigen dalam aeroplane, anything pun, put yourself first. Kau dulu. Okay, remember. So, if we can accept ourselves honestly, bila kita menerima diri kita secara honestly, secara terbuka lah, hati terbuka, begitu kan, we may be able to ignore what others believe about ourselves, you know. So kita tahu diri kita, so bila orang kritik kita, kita boleh terima dengan terbuka. Okay, they don't know me, I know myself more. So itu membuatkan kita macam lagi okay lah kan. And bila kita menerima kritik daripada orang ni, dia boleh menyebabkan kita punya self-esteem tu jadi rendah. You know, dia menyebabkan kita tidak confident, you know, with ourselves. And that's why when we accept ourselves fully, we can ignore that. We can totally ignore the people around us. Macam, apa-apa kau lah, kan? Macam apa-apa lah yang kamu cakap, I know myself. I really know myself. You don't know me. I know myself. Yes, that's how it's done lah. And the importance of self-acceptance can also be seen because it reduces pressure and stress which you might be giving to yourself, you know. And self-acceptance will allow yourself, we allow you to see yourself in a better perspective, you know. Even benda tu is a negative sides. I mean, when, you know, so macam, oh, I can turn this into a good side, even it's my negative sides, you know. And if we accept ourselves, we also value ourselves, and as a result, we will tell others that they should respect who we are, because you know how much you value yourself, kan? You sangat menghargai diri you. And when someone degraded you, ask them to respect who you are, because it is who you are, kan? And at the same time, when we know the value of ourselves, kan, we will also be able to accept others and their flaws. Because sometimes when we don't value ourselves, kan, we expect others to have, I don't know, sometimes expectation can be tricky. Sometimes kita rasa macam, oh, aku tidak boleh terima dia because aku tidak boleh kawan dengan dia because of this. Because they have their flaws. So, because I think we don't value ourselves much. That's why. So, self-acceptance can act as a major tool in paving the way for further improvement and advancement. And also, this way, we can safeguard ourselves from the clutches of sadness and despair. Because to look inside and accept and love the person we are is the greatest gift we can give to ourselves, and at the same time is a gift to the others as well. Because like I said before, apa yang kita buat will affect other people around us, you know. So I believe that all of you ever feel disappointed, right? Betul kah? Can you see if ada yang join my live today? Let us see if you guys ever feel disappointed. Boleh komen? I believe ada yang pernah feel disappointed? So I believe that all of you pernah rasa disappointed too, even because of small things like, kenapa dia tidak reply Saudari, kan, begitu. Macam you send someone a text, you send someone a WhatsApp ke apa ke, macam you guys have this conversation, blah blah blah, tiba-tiba macam that someone tidak reply, kan, then you rasa macam kenapa dia reply ni, dia tidak suka aku ke, begitu. or when apa ya, let me think a scenario, or maybe macam kenapa macam dia tidak mau jumpa aku sudah, dia tidak suka aku kan, acing begitu kan. So because bila kita disappointed, kan, mostly I think lah, this is my point of view, this is saya punya pendapat. Bila kita feel disappointed, I think mostly because we expected something from someone else, and when we didn't get something that we're expecting from that particular person or apa-apa begitu, we become disappointed. You know, kita rasa kecewa, kita rasa marah, tersakiti begitu kan, bila so when things like this happen, kan, I sometimes think like, why is it that we often rely on others to make us happy? Yes. Kenapa kita set this high expectation on someone? You know, do we need a strong approval or attention from others? Is it the expectation reasonable? You know, macam tanya-tanya lah juga kan, kenapa kita rasa sedih bila kita tidak dapat apa yang kita expect to get, you know. So somehow we just need to understand ourselves better, and maybe after we understand ourselves better, we might find it easier to deal with disappointment, you know, because and actually tidak salah pun kan to feel kecewa, because you cannot control what you are feeling, apa yang kau akan rasa, you know. You cannot control the heart lah, senang cakapkan. You cannot control anything about your heart. And so I think there's nothing wrong to feel disappointed, tapi I always have this macam pemikiran macam, kenapa bila kita expect something from someone else, kenapa kita kena rely on someone else to make us happy? And I think there's nothing wrong with actually sharing your disappointment with others, as long as it's reasonable lah kan. And bukanlah you marah-marah time kau share your disappointment tu, macam kau ni bla 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 bla, macam itu lagi balik menimbulkan kemarahan pihak yang lain, you know. And I think to share your disappointment is to that person you are disappointed of, you know. That's a better alternative lah. But kalau lah orang yang kau disappointed to is macam yang susah untuk kau reach out, you can tell macam your best friend, you know, people who you are really close to. So sebab daripada dia accumulate dalam diri kau, you know, dia mungkin lama macam, because sometimes kan when we feel disappointed and we simpan sendiri, benda tu dia akan berpanjangan. So it's better to share your disappointment. Contoh when in relationship, you know, bila ada kecewa, so bila you feel disappointed ni, dia lama-lama dia akan tukar jadi marah, you know, jadi sakit hati, makan dalam, orang bilang kan. So it's better for us to share the disappointment, so that at least macam benda tu lepas, so we feel light, you know. And kita pun sebagai yang mendengar, try your best not to give any macam suggestion ke apakah. You just have to listen. Just listen to what they said. Don't argue with that person kalau dia mau meluahkan apa yang dia terbuku di hati dia kan, just let them be. Bagi dia lepas dulu. Kalau dia minta suggestion or pendapat ke apa ke, then you can give your honest opinion, you know. But you have to be fair lah. You don't have to judge them or judge the benda yang dia sudah buat, you know. You just have to listen and give your honest opinion on what to do. Ni. You don't have to cakap macam kau buat macam ni, salah sudah tu. I don't think. I mean, boleh cakap lah. Boleh juga cakap macam apa yang dia buat tu salah, but in a good way. Turn it into a positive way. Because what you said can affect dorang punya mental. Because when they have problems and they share with you, they macam dorang punya perasaan tu tengah berkecamuk kan begitu. So I think use your words wisely. Because words is a great weapon. Yes. So it's almost 12 already. So before I end this session, I just want to tell you guys that we are special and a unique person, each one of us. Okay? They always said we are limited edition. I am limited edition, but I think even the limited edition things pun ada few other, like limited edition bag kan, only limited edition bag, only 6 pieces in the world. Limited edition tapi ada 6 pieces in the world. So I think we are more than that. Okay, so macam limited edition bag tu dia still ada kopi, ada persamaan dia, you know. But we are more than that, you know. We are more than a limited edition person, because kita ada satu je dalam dunia ni. We are unique in our own way, you know. And each one of us, setiap satu orang ni, kita dalam dunia ni, we can accomplish anything we set in our mind, you know, by living and accepting ourselves 100%. Nothing in the world will stop us from achieving our goals. And we are not perfect, and we live in an imperfect world, you know. But we have to try and find the good in all things, because it is out there. Okay, we try to see each thing, each person in a good way. Okay, because I think perfection exists only in our imagination. It's not what I think. It's something that I read from this book. Okay, from this book. Okay, he said, Herman Sunim said that perfection exists only in our imagination, and I think this is very true. The term perfection is only in our imagination, because nothing is perfect except for the God Almighty, you know. And while we can try to be good at things and have a good life, it is important to make peace with who we are and not keep striving to change things all the time. is not necessarily macam important to change who you are. You know, all you have to do is to accept who you are. That's all. And to make peace with what what it is is truly the secret to happiness. Yes, because even myself, I'm still struggling to fully accept myself, and I still sorry, and I still struggle to accept myself fully 100% and to make peace with myself. I'm still struggling with it, but I think I can make it one day where I can fully accept myself and my flaws, my positive side, my negative sides, as said by a 6th century Zen master, Seng Chan. Okay. Also, I get it from this book lah, kan? This book. Oh, nampak. Okay. Where he said that true freedom is being without anxiety about imperfection, because in a world striving for perfection with the social media and all, I think kita pun rasa macam terganggu lah sedikit. Even myself, truly. Even myself. Because dalam social media, we selalu macam nampak, you know, they only macam post their happiness, their harta, food, or dorang tempat-tempat yang dorang pernah pergi, where ourselves never been there. I don't have that. I don't feel happy, you know. And I think that is because they want to show you what they want to show you. You know what I mean? Faham ka? Atau ada yang bingung? Okay, maybe yalah, kita tidak tahu pun. Mana tahu during that time they were actually having troubles with something or anything. You know, we just don't know, because social media is a lie. It's a lie. Yes. Social media ni pula kan, because we only show happiness, jarang sekali. I mean ada, tapi tidak selalu lah kita akan post about our sadness, our disappointment, you know. We always share about the happiness, the rezeki we have, you know. Yes. So yes, I think how to accept yourself in a world striving for perfection is to love yourself. So when you try to love yourself, you will fully accept yourself. So when you fully accept yourself, you can make it in this world striving for perfection, even though perfection only exists in imagination. Okay. So lastly, this is almost 12 already, and I know we are all hungry. I want to thank you guys. Thank you. I want to thank you guys for being here, for making time to join my live today. I really appreciate each one of you. Each one of you, I really appreciate, and my humble apologies if any anyone yang terasa with my words, if any of my words macam menyakiti kamu, macam gitu. So, saya minta maaf kalau ada kata-kata saya macam tidak sedap didengari. Saya minta maaf. I truly don't realize that. Alright, it's my fault, and I'm really sorry. I forgive myself if anything happened, if anything boleh. Begitulah, minta maaf lah kan kalau itu. And I pray that everyone will stay strong in this difficult time. I know everyone is struggling. Each one of us may struggle a different hustle, but I know we can do this, okay? So although we are imperfect and living in an imperfect world, may we continue to love in all ways and always. So I think that's it from me. I hope to see you again. This is a very great opportunity that has been given to me, and I really enjoyed to share with you guys today. And I hope to see you again. Bye. Bye.